If you are a recovering perfectionist or feeling like no matter what you do that you are never good enough, you have come to the right place, because I have been there. I've read a lot of books and I've tried a lot of things. So today I'm going to go through 8 of my favorite books that helped me feel more creative, less judgmental towards myself, create a more gentle inner voice, and just cultivate a better overall understanding of myself and how I show up in the world. Welcome to my cozy corner of the internet. If you're new here, my name is JC. I post all about easy, cozy hobbies that you can do even if you have low energy to improve your mental health. Things like crafting, gaming, reading, all things that I loved as a kid and I'm reconnecting with later in life that are bringing me so much joy. Before I get into it, if you're coming from TikTok or Instagram, I share these books in a much shorter rapid fire video. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys to take our time and really dive into each book, because I think that there is so much goodness in every single one. If I could just hand each and every single one of you these books and sit and read with you, the world will be a better place. The first one is called Owning Your Shadow. It covers the concept of shadow work, which, if you're not familiar, shadow work is really about digging into the deeper, hidden, more repressed parts of yourself that you either feel shameful of or that you learned to repress and not show to the world. It goes a lot into Jungian psychology. When you're younger, you very quickly learn which traits of yours are accepted and loved by other people, whether that's from praise at school or praise from your parents or your family members, and then what traits that you might get disciplined for, whether that's being too emotional or daydreaming, whatever it may be. All of these little experiences tell our little baby self brain that we are not safe in those characteristics, so we just push those things down. And as we get older, it just exists in our body as a feeling of shame or guilt or feeling not good enough. What Robert Johnson really goes into in this book is how those hidden parts of us are actually a huge source of untapped potential, of raw creativity, of our true meaning and purpose. When we're able to heal those parts of ourselves and find greater acceptance for those parts, it usually brings up a whole wealth of amazing things into your life. And I can very much attest to that in my own life, of finding more acceptance for those parts of myself. You can see it's a short read, but it's very eye-opening, especially if you're new to the whole shadow work realm. This book is for you if you feel like your thoughts are just running the show and you're wanting to regain control of how you feel in your everyday life. It's called You Are Not Your Brain, the 4-Step Solution for Changing Bad Habits, Ending Unhealthy Thinking, and Taking Control of Your Life. I know the cover seems a little aggressive, self-helpy, but I really loved how tangible it was. It's very rooted in neuroscience and brain chemistry, which I always love. The author, Jeffrey Schwartz, really teaches you how to separate these unwanted thoughts from your true self, because a lot of the times our thoughts are so intertwined with how we think of ourselves that we have a hard time separating them, and then it brings in that shame piece again. It's all rooted in neuroscience and mindfulness, and it goes into each area of your brain region and what it's responsible for. If you like science-based books, you will love this book. It goes through the different regions in your brain and what they're responsible for. I created a whole mind map of every concept in the book, all of the different strategies, the regions of the brain, and then I gave my boyfriend a full presentation on it. So now we are both experts in this book. It really just was so helpful for me. I felt almost like a prisoner to my own thoughts. This book is for you if you're interested in knowing how the mind and body are so connected and how our emotional, physical, spiritual health are just really one and the same. The Secret Language of the Body dives all into how we can understand our body better and how it's really a language for us to learn. I think our society is so rooted in talk therapy, really existing from the neck up, meaning that we intellectualize all of our experiences and all of our feelings. And if you're a type A or perfectionist person that has gone to a lot of therapy, I'm sure you know all the frameworks, all the terminologies for everything that you've experienced. And some of that is definitely helpful, but you probably don't feel 100% better. And that is because there is so much stored in the body. So I really think that somatic therapy is going to be the next big frontier. It already is starting to get very popular. So if you feel just like this unresolved tension, you're carrying a lot in your body, or you're having unexplained symptoms, there is so much wisdom in the body that we can attune ourselves with, and this book offers such a practical approach. Every single chapter has takeaways, a really interesting framework that focuses on how you can better listen to your body that I haven't heard in any other book before. I am absolutely loving this book, and I'm starting somatic therapy this year, so I really think that this is going to be a huge unlock for me. These are for you if you are doing any sort of creative pursuit. I really think it should be mandatory reading for every creative person in the whole entire world. If you're feeling feeling stuck, or if you're kind of paralyzed by fear with your creative pursuits, even if you're in flow state with your creative pursuits, these are just a treasure chest of knowledge. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron is a 12-week workbook to reconnect back with your creativity, with your inner child. It has so many good exercises. Some of them I've talked about in other videos before that have really helped me. Reading this book really made me prioritize my creativity and look at it as a crucial part of my mental health in a way that I hadn't before. Even if you don't do the whole 12-week program, I think doing any of the exercises in this book is beneficial. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert is just such a great read. I love the way that Elizabeth Gilbert storytells. She's so honest with her writing, and she talks a lot about fear specifically and how it can come in with creativity. There's this whole passage about how fear is inevitably going to come up when you're doing any sort of creative pursuit. She has a whole little speech that she puts together to tell the fearful part of her. She notices it coming up, and it was really inspiring to me how she just lets creativity and fear coexist, and accepting that it is definitely going to be there, but can't be a thing that paralyzes her or takes over from putting what she wants to put out into the world. If you feel like you're someone that has trouble getting started with projects, or you have a lot of ideas but you're having trouble executing, I think that these books will be so helpful for you. The book is for you if you feel like you have something wrong with you. I feel like a lot of us have this underlying belief that everyone else is just peacefully existing in the world, and there is a defect or something wrong with us in the way that we look, or the way that we think, or the way that we act that separates us from the rest of the world. And Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach really approaches the term acceptance from a new way. I feel like it's such a buzzword to just be like self-love, self-acceptance. That is so unhelpful. Tara Brach goes through her own personal journey with mental health with her clients, and shares a lot of personal stories from herself and her clients on how they got to a place of greater self-acceptance and just found more peace and ease within their own being. It's such an inspiring read, and to me, Tara Brach just feels like such a nurturing, motherly, warm figure. Like anytime I listen to her, I feel like I'm getting a hug. She does so many meditations on Spotify. She does a lot of talks. Her voice is very slow and calming and grounding. So go check her out on Spotify or pick up Radical Acceptance. I really love her work so much. This book is for you if you are constantly burdened by feeling like you have so many different conflicting thoughts in your head. It's called No Bad Parts. If you know me in any capacity, you know that this is one of my favorite books of all time. It goes through a whole therapy framework called Internal Family Systems, which basically just describes how there are so many different parts inside of you that make up who you are. There could be the grandma part of you, the protector part of you, little inner child part of you, your angry part, your anxious part, so many different parts. All of them make up who you are, but none of them are you. So you can recognize and acknowledge and listen to all of these different parts without over-identifying them. He says that the 4 basic goals of IFS are to liberate your parts from the roles they've been forced into so that they can be who they're designed to be, restore trust in the capital S self and self-leadership, reharmonize and find more balance within your inner system, and become more capital S self-led in your interactions with the world. So being able to hold space for all of those parts of you, you choose how you show up in the world, and you don't let any of those parts kind of override your full system. If you've seen the movie Inside Out, I feel like that's also a good example for what you can visualize. I just loved the reframe that all of these different parts of me are doing their best to keep me safe, and have resulted from past experiences, and I needed them at a certain time, and they're doing their best to keep me safe, but I don't need to over-identify with any part of them. I feel like this book and this type of therapy just fundamentally changed me as a person. Even when I'm speaking about how I feel and my emotions, I'm never like, I am this way. I always say instead, oh, a part of me feels this, a part of me is feeling angry, a part of me is scared. And that helps me to just look at the emotion or the experience more objectively, because I know it's not me and I'm not identifying with it. It's just something in me that I need to give more attention to. I cannot say enough good things about each of these books. I really feel like they have just changed the way that I navigate in the world. They've changed my relationship to myself, how I talk to myself, how I talk to other people, how I process situations that are happening. I have gone through so many different phases and periods of my mental health in different parts of my life, and I am truly now at a place where I feel more ease and peace and love for myself and for other people that I have ever experienced. And I really attribute a lot of that to information that I have read in this book and digested and put into practice. I will put the full list and the link of all of these books in the caption so you can check them out. I would love to hear any of your favorite non-self-help books that have changed the way that you think about the world or yourself, or that you've been loving lately. If this is your first time watching my videos and you want to stay on my cozy corner of the internet, I would absolutely love to have you here. Make sure that you subscribe to be notified whenever I post new videos. Thank you so much for being here and for watching and supporting. I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, take care of yourself, be gentle, and stay cozy. Bye.